Good evening, everybody. My name is Justin Clark, and I'll be talking to you today about Alzheimer's, giving you a little bit of information on what the disease does. Obviously, we're all probably affected by it or know of it, either by family members or by friends. It was originally discovered by Dr. Alois Alzheimer. He was born in June 14, 1864. This is all coming from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. He was a German psychiatrist who originally discovered this condition by a patient that had been dying from, they'd been noticing a trend of people that were dying from and having the same trends of memory failure and whatnot. So investigating into it further, he discovered that their brains were severely shrunken, and he therefore went in and discovered that there are also plaques and tangles. And I'll go into detail with that a little bit later. But his big discovery on Alzheimer's disease was how the brain was completely shrunken. It affects 5.4 million Americans. This is from alz.org website. It's the sixth leading cause of death. As of right now, there's no known cure. They are working on stuff that actually just recently here that could be helping out, at least try to settle the disease a little bit. Most people are diagnosed around the age of 60, and that's usually in the later stages in life, and they usually have only 8 to 10 years after they've first been originally diagnosed. What happens is your brain has these protein deposits, and they're usually broken down throughout by the cells. But what happens is these, in the Alzheimer's brain, they're not completely broken down, and so they ended up just staying in the brain and kind of blocking the nerve cell that allowed the transportation of the nerves within the brain with your communication and, well, everything that your brain does with your body. So basically they categorize them into plaques, and then they turn into tangles, and therefore you see them disrupting the cells there. So as they disrupt the cells obviously die, and that's why the brain starts shrinking in. The first thing to go here is the hippocampus, and that's your memory. So a lot of people start forgetting like where the keys are, where the milk is, just kind of smaller things like that, maybe a birthday here and there, it's not really noticeable. Then later on, here's how it kind of starts to deteriorate. The cortex and the ventricles growing a little bit longer. That's what they call them when the plaques turn into the longer stems there. It's very hard to detect because a lot of these people will be older, and we associate that just with them being older. But a lot of things might have started like 20 years ago, but obviously we can't really detect it without looking into the brain. Thinking and planning is obviously disruptive. And you go on to the mild to moderate stage. These last about 2 to 10 years is how long people stay in the stage for. This is when it really starts going in and starts to go with the cerebral cortex, and that deals with emotions. So a lot of the times people start getting a little bit angry with themselves when they're realizing that they're having these memory problems and are wanting to know why they put the milk in with the dinner plates, or they can't remember people's names as much. That's why you see on there how the personality and behavior changes, and that's really just them frustrated with themselves. Also at this stage, they'll also have trouble recognizing friends and family. The severe stage, this is kind of the last stage when when your brain's really starting to go. Most of the brain cortex is seriously damaged. The brain is severely shrunken, and they usually lose the ability to communicate and care for others, and that's also within themselves. Loss of bodily functions and stuff like that. They usually need to be in hospitals because they'll be forgetting when to eat, how to eat. They'll be constantly thirsty all the time because it's the way it messes with your brain. It's pretty interesting to see, but they'll obviously get really skinny because they'll forget how or when they ate or when was the last time they ate at. So this is a video I'd like to play. This lady's been documenting her grandma going through Alzheimer's. Her husband passed away a couple years ago, and so recently in this past like 2 weeks, she's in this stage where she forgets that her husband is gone. So it's kind of sad to watch, but it's actually pretty interesting to see how she handles it. And this is from the Bright Focus Foundation of 2016, just on YouTube. So we'll play a little bit of this for you.
So you said you found out a bunch of crazy stuff today.
Well, yeah, oh my God, I thought my husband was still living
Now, where'd you think he was?
around.
What?
When they told me that he was gone,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it.
But you're okay though, right?
Well, I don't know.
You're okay, Graham. Graham, you're okay. Listen up. Here, give me the hand. We do the hand holding. Listen up. Fritz, you know his name, right? Fritz? Yeah. He's been gone for 6 years and he died in his sleep.
Takes care of me.
I do.
Before you come.
No. Oh, you've been living with us for 2.5 years. And before that, you came up to our house every weekend for about 4 years.
Who took me up there?
We did, Pete and I. You came to stay in our house every weekend until you couldn't live alone anymore, and then we moved you in permanently.
Oh my God.
So you used to know every day. You just forgot.
So I'm gonna pause that video just because it's kind of long and I'm kind of short on time. But basically, you can kind of see how she totally forgot that her husband died a couple years ago. It's kind of sad. But another thing to do with research with Alzheimer's and stuff like that is to help out families and see, you know, kind of where their loved ones are at the later stages in life and what you can do to kind of help out. One of the things that they found is music. If you find that somebody was in their later stages, like 80 or 90, finding music that was not recent, but when they were like between the ages of 18 and 24, they found out that's also from the Bright Focus Foundation. They found out that that's the best with their memory, that clues in and they really pick up on that. So they really appreciate that. But there's a lot of other things that you can do to help out people with Alzheimer's and kind of help out family that's starting to begin the process of somebody that's suffering. So, and that's it for my little presentation on Alzheimer's. So thank you all for coming.